I would like to invite Wamahdri-Williams and Kathy Skidmore-Williams to come up and give for us a stewardship campaign reflection as we are in the spirit and the time of stewardship campaign and of giving.
A lot more people than were here at 8 o'clock. Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
My name is Kathy Skidmore-Williams, and this is my husband, Wamahdri-Williams. As Wamahdri and I discussed giving this talk, it became clear that our experiences at St. Martin's echo the parable of the loaves and the fishes, in that when disciples shared those meager items through the love of Christ, they became bountiful. I feel that way about my own insignificant gifts. When empowered by God, they multiply. I'll start when we first came to St. Martin's nearly 30 years ago. We'd moved here from Chicago, and I'd been out of the workforce taking care of our young children for several years. I just started thinking about going back to work, and I was asked by the rectors to help put together the new church directory. I hesitantly said yes because I had some basic desktop publishing skills and felt it would be a good way to exercise those skills and get to know the people here. That task became an entree to a fulfilling career working as an editor and desktop publisher. The loaves and the fishes multiplied exponentially.
The loaves and fishes experience I want to share is gifts discernment. I was part of a team at St. Martin's that put together a program where we explored and worked on discovering the gifts within each of us. By spending time looking at and praying and reflecting on what our experiences in life tell us about what is in us, we evoke some of the gifts within us. In helping to lead the program, I called on talents that I didn't know I had. Yet, again and again, our gifts workshops were helpful to our fellow travelers, and we encouraged each other to live into and use the gifts we found. As was the case with Kathy and the directory, the freely given loaves and fishes, our time and talent, such as it is, and treasure, are welcomed by God and used to help us be more fully the people we are created to be. We are multiplied in what we do and what we affect.
Another example I'd like to share is when we were invited to attend a Curcio weekend. Neither of us really understood what Curcio was about, and frankly, I saw it as a weekend away from watching the kids. However, that weekend deeply renewed our energy to serve and led to many other times I said yes when asked. From teaching middle school to our youth, to organizing fundraisers to benefit our mission in Haiti, to becoming a Stephen minister, to serving on the vestry. Probably the most meaningful recent example has been as a prayer warrior, praying for those I've come to love deeply. Please know that I didn't feel comfortable doing any of these. Some of them I really didn't even want to try doing. But again, like the loaves and the fishes, once I said yes, hesitant though that yes was, God gave me what I needed to do their work in spades.
An important part of Curcio for me rose from my teen years. I went to boarding school in England just before I turned 13, and the transition from my familiar and connected life in Sierra Leone in West Africa to a boarding school in the English Midlands was challenging. My rock was prayer. I prayed and read the Bible, not for a particular thing, but as a support for when things were bewildering or just seemed unbearable, as moments sometimes were. But those prayers were me alone, and they also were my prayers. I talked with God in my own voice, with my own words, and that was enough then. Roll forward 3 decades, and I'm joining in prayer with a community where we are comfortable talking about and singing about and happily joining in unstructured communal prayers. It was as though my prayers as a teen had come back turbocharged. I thrive in that community. The seed that was my need to talk to God, to keep my sense of self, had been multiplied by finding a community that nourished it. With St. Martin's, Cursillo is also that community for me. Loaves and fishes. A miracle where Jesus took some loaves and a few fish and fed and nourished a multitude. Often, our focus is on the multiplying. But in these stories we've just shared, I believe what can really speak to us is the gift of the loaves and a few fish. These gave Jesus the means to feed everyone there. That is what our time, our talent, and our treasure can and should be. The gifts we freely give, so through God's grace, we can feed and nourish the multitude that we are. We will have more than enough. Thank you.